Welcome to The Tech Ranch, live and local here on Super Talk 1270. The latest gadgets, online security, websites and apps, social media, and so much more. How can technology help you? Let's find out. It's time for The Tech Ranch on Super Talk 1270.
From our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River, here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
So what is Windows 10 all about? Our resident expert from Awesome 2 Products, Nick Ressler, is in studio to discuss what we expect or what to expect from Windows 10. Last week, I challenged Miss Metaverse Katie Aquino to come up with the most useful or unique repurposed tech. And today, we will reveal those results. And Jim, I'm hoping that you have prizes for us.
Oh, I have what for you?
You're judging today. Remember that? Yeah,
right.
yeah. So at the control panel, of course, producer extraordinaire Jim Walsh. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
I had a good weekend.
Yeah.
Didn't get too much sleep. I mean, I got plenty of sleep. I just didn't oversleep.
I see.
Which I tend to do on the weekends.
Sure.
But
Enjoyed
not
the rain.
so much this weekend. I enjoyed the weather.
You know, it was nice to see the rain clear off yesterday morning.
Yeah.
It turned out to be a really nice day yesterday.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah.
I did laundry.
Yeah, so you didn't get a chance to utilize the weather too much, obviously,
No.
since you're outside or inside, I should say, doing that. So yeah, right. So you're a Windows user, correct?
I am.
Okay. So do you have? Are you excited about the new Windows 10 coming out?
To be honest, I don't know whether to be excited or not. I mean, remember, was it Windows 7, the one that had all the glitches in it?
Windows 8. Well, I don't know. They've all had some glitches in them, I guess.
Oh, yeah,
so.
But some more than others.
Yeah, I think, and I don't know if Windows 8 was the one where I think people just had a problem getting used to it. So
Yeah.
So
I was going to say, was it 7 or 8 that everybody was complaining about?
8 is the one that everybody was
8,
complaining about.
okay.
7 everybody liked for the most part. Vista was the one that was terrible.
Was the bad one.
Yeah, yep. So, Mr. Wrestler, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Glad to be here.
So why? First question I have: Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. Where did 9 go? What's going on with this?
I can't use 9.
And the reason for that?
If you think back, we had Windows 95
Right.
and Windows 98.
Right.
So if you just did 9, think of all the programmers out there with the code that's out there that references 9598. So if you just did 9 without something behind it, it would drive them nuts.
I see.
And if you did, like on the internet with all the 9 things. So you'd have to do like 9, I'm a nice operating system or something like that.
What about like a Roman numeral, Windows IX?
You could have done that.
Yeah, I could have done that. Yeah.
But I think Windows, because of the unpopularity of 8 and 8.1, wanted to jump way ahead of 9.
Gotcha.
And actually put a number between them. But the real reason is because of the 98, 95.
And I think a lot of people, that's probably listening to us right now are thinking to themselves, didn't Windows 8 just come out? They're bringing another operating system out so quickly?
Yeah.
And that is the case, isn't it?
It seems like that, but it has been out for quite a while.
A couple of years now, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, it does feel like Windows 8 just kind of came out, and we're finally getting used to that Metro interface, that screen, that touch screen type of thing that everybody hates. Well, I shouldn't say everybody, but the majority
A
of
lot
people,
of people don't like
just
it.
didn't really like it.
They're very loud in their displeasure.
Yeah. And it was it's a navigation thing. Everybody's used to the old way of navigating Windows, and all of a sudden here comes this new navigation thing, and you're like, how in the world do I find stuff? And I even had this problem, and I've been around computers my entire life.
Right.
Couldn't find out how to print things, and it was crazy until you got used to it.
One of the things they tried to do is move people away from the mouse. They wanted the touch screen because of all the devices out there, like the tablets and that. And they thought by not putting a start menu and using the Metro with the tiles, that people would just adopt to that and then move away from the start button and the mouse. And that isn't true. I mean, we're so ingrained, it's like coming up with a new way to write and taking away pencils.
Right.
I mean, come on.
People like having options. I don't think people like the idea that somebody's going to say, we're going to make this computer and we're going to make you use it this way.
Exactly.
Whether you like it or not.
Yep.
Right. And one of the things that came out right away was the shell that you put on a lot of computers that made it look and feel like Windows 7, even though it was running Windows 8. So there are always options. There's always workarounds to things, of course, in the computer world. So Now, in the last week, and in fact, you can see this on my computer right here, Nick. I got the little Windows icon down by my clock. So what is this all about?
Okay, what Windows is doing is they're trying to figure out how many people want to adopt or move up to Windows 10. And to start with, they're going to release Windows 10 on July 29th of 2016 this year.
2015 then. Just making sure we got that right.
Oh, 15.
Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah. It's good until 2016.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, so there's a year that you can upgrade to Windows 10.
You've got 1 year free upgrade from Windows 7 and now you have to have Service Pack 1 installed on Windows 7 to get the upgrade.
So if you're running Windows 7 right now, you should go get the free upgrade to Windows 7.1, right?
You can't get the upgrade. What you can get is reserve. You can reserve the upgrade. And that's what that little icon on your screen is.
Okay, so I'm just backing up just a second here. So let's say you're running Windows 7. You don't have the upgrade. You don't have the pack for Windows 7.1 yet. Should a person go and get this? You should upgrade your computer, right?
To Microsoft, and you have to download Service Pack 1 with Windows 7.
And that's a free download,
correct?
A free
download.
Okay, so in order to get Windows 10, if you're running Windows 7, go get that download, the Service Pack 1, so that you'll get the free upgrade to Windows 10 if you want to do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and Windows 8, you have to have Windows 8.1.
So basically, you have to have the service packs on both 7 or 8.
Packs, and you have to have the latest. And then, if you have that, you'll get that little icon, that little window down by your clock, and that lets you reserve your copy of Windows 10.
Okay.
Prior to July 29th this year.
So I did that on one computer now, and in fact, the one that you're looking at here, I actually. Oh, wait a minute! I think it was the one at home. I take that back. And so I clicked on it. I went there. It asked me for my email address. That was it.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, it's just reserved.
That's it. Yep.
And they're going to send me a notification now when it's time to upgrade.
And you don't necessarily have to. It's not a commitment that you're going to do it. You're just reserving your spot.
Okay. So, why would a person want to move to Windows 10?
Well, backing up. The difference between Windows 7 and Windows 8 was security.
Okay.
More security built in. Windows 10 is going to be more secure than Windows 8 and 8.1. You're also going to get the start button back.
Okay.
It's going to be more like Windows 7. It's going to be what Windows 8 should have been.
Okay.
And it's going to have the security. You'll still have the option of the tiles, the Metro, and you'll also have the start button. And it's going to be a smaller footprint, which I see as being an advantage because you'll be able to put Windows 10 on some of the older computers that can't run Windows 8.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Whoa. That's pretty cool. So how far back do you think that can go? I mean, if you had...
It depends on the components that are in the computer and how much RAM there is. You need a minimum of 4.
4 gigs of RAM?
4 gigs of RAM. So if you have an older laptop, let's say it was running Vista, and you can put 4 gigs of RAM in it, odds are, especially if it'll run Windows 7, it'll run 10.
Okay.
And if you put RAM in it, and the other thing you could consider doing is putting a hard drive in it.
Like an SSD?
Yeah, SSD.
Okay,
yeah.
Very good. All right, everybody, after the break, we will continue our conversation with Mr. Nick Ressler on Windows 10, and we'll be talking a little bit about WordPress themes, so come on back.
Right now, 63.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek at Facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or TheTechRanch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we want to thank all of our listeners across the United States and around the world who follow us on the Blueberry Network, on the Tech Podcast Network. If it's Tech, it's here. We're also on the Roku, on iTunes, and, of course, our own app, which you just heard about, Radio Pup. And
we have a call.
We do?
Yeah, let's get to it.
All right.
Good morning, Super Talk 1270. Can we help you? Well,
they weren't expecting to be put on the air, I'm guessing.
Guess not. The invisible man there. Tell him I can't see him.
That's right. That's funny. So Anyway, in studio, of course, we have Nick Ressler and our producer extraordinaire, Jim Walsh. And I just wanted to throw this out real quick. I visited with this guy last week, Israel Kozalo, because I knew I was going to mess up with the pronunciation of his last name. Collazo. I apologize to you, Israel, about messing up your name, from Ontario, California. And he's a web designer. And he builds WordPress themes, and he's kind of known as Senior Themes. Senior Themes, and if you go to seniorthemes.com, you can check out some of his work and whatever. So if you're looking for great, easy-to-use WordPress themes, you got to go check this out, seniorthemes.com. He's a great guy, and he loves working with people, and that's the thing I kind of got from him when I was talking to him last week. So if you're looking for unique WordPress themes, if you're into that realm a little bit, check it out, seniorthemes.com. And Mr. Nick Ressler and I are talking about the Windows 10 upgrade. So, Nick, the first thing is Windows 10 really free?
For the first year, it's totally free. It's not a trial or an introductory version, and it's available for limited time for that first year.
Okay, so as I'm taking this from you, then I'm thinking to myself, okay, so after the first year, do I have to pay a subscription? Or, I mean, if I get it in that first year, am I just totally free at that time? And, of course, now he's blanking out on me here. So
No, what I'm
trying to pull up your notes, and there you go.
He's having a geezer moment.
He is.
I resemble that remark.
So, okay, so you have 1 year from the time Windows 10 is available to take advantage of the offer. So, if you take advantage of it, it's just free.
It's free. And once you've downloaded it and it's put on your computer, it's free for the rest of your life with that unit.
Okay, so but that's the thing, isn't it? It's just on that unit.
Yes,
so
yes.
if you were to go buy a new computer, or if you bought a used computer later on that didn't have Windows 10 on it, you may have to purchase it to upgrade at that time.
Year.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Okay. So what happens? I think we've covered. I'm going through my list of questions for you here. About the free upgrade. We've talked about how you get the free upgrade because you're getting notified for that right now. Is there another way to get the free upgrade besides the notification?
Well, if you don't do the notification after the release date, you can go to Windows and actually download it.
Okay. And the release date again is July 26th, was it?
29th.
29th? Okay. So about a month and a half from now.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens when I reserve the copy of it?
What you're doing is you're confirming your device is compatible with Windows, and that's why you got the little icon window that shows that this device is ready for Windows. You've met the qualifications to upgrade.
So and this notification, everybody, if you have a Windows 7.1, Windows 8.1 machine, you'll have this little window icon appear next to your clock down the lower right hand side of your screen. And you just click on that, and it'll take you to the reservation page.
Yeah, and then you reserve it, and then when it's released, you'll be sent a notice that you can download it.
Okay. So simple as that. It's pretty easy to do. So then the next question, if I buy a new PC today, and I'm just going through all these questions that people have asked us, is that person able to upgrade to Windows 10?
Yeah, if you went and bought a brand new PC today, it comes at Windows 8.1, and once you've got it up and running and it's working, Windows will send you that notification.
Okay.
So you'll be able to upgrade to a 10.
Okay.
The new computers after July will actually have 10 on it.
After July?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once it's been released, the manufacturers are ready, with new computers.
Gotcha. Are we going to see a sell-off of Windows 8.1 machines in computer stores, you think? Good deals, I guess, is what I'm after. Because you had that with Windows 7 for a little bit there.
I guess because, it's going to... If you buy a machine and you can upgrade it to 10 free, it isn't like 7 and you had to buy 8.
Right.
So I guess even buying a 7 machine, I don't see a big rush to get rid of them.
Well, I just remember when Windows 8 came out, after like a 2-week time period, you could barely find a Windows 7 machine anymore. I'm just wondering if that's going to happen with Windows 8.1
the manufacturers will quit producing them,
and
it'll dry up. But there's quite a bit of stuff in the pipeline yet.
Right. It'll be interesting to see, and maybe we should follow that if there'll be some good deals coming out. Because if Windows 10 is free, and because Windows 10 is free, I should say, and Windows 8.1 isn't going to be available as far as on machines in the future, there might be some good deals in a month or so.
Yeah.
So that might be something. If you're thinking about upgrading a computer or whatever, you might find some good deals shortly. So another question we've got is, what is the Get Windows 10 app? Any idea what that is? I'm guessing that's probably that little icon.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay. So the app that they're talking about is that little icon.
That little icon down in the corner.
Okay. And just so you know, everybody, we're just going through a list of questions that people have sent us, and we may have already answered some of these, and we're just kind of rehashing some of it. How do I get a confirmation when I reserved my upgrade? You already talked about that. If I change my mind, can I cancel my reservation?
Oh, yeah. There's
Okay.
no commitment to once you've done the reservation to actually put Windows 10 on your computer. In fact, from my standpoint, my computer's at home. I'm not going to upgrade for at least 6 months.
Okay.
Now, there'll be a couple at work because I need to learn 10, the ins and outs.
Right.
When customers bring their computers in. And the reason for that is I want to give them 6 months to get the bugs out. My reserve is there. I can take advantage of it any time. And I just soon have them get the bugs out, and then in 6 months I'll bring it in. But I definitely will take it.
So I wanted to spend instead of answering some of these other questions, and we'll get to them hopefully shortly. I think one of the biggest thing about Windows 10, Nick, is that they're claiming that there will never be another operating system, correct?
That's what they're saying.
Okay. So how do they do that? What does this mean, moving forward here 5 years from now?
Well, I think what they're talking about there is once they have that core program built, that you'll automatically get the updates, and they'll increase the quality of it, and mainly the security. I mean, if you look at what the operating system does, basically it starts your computer. So once your computer is running, you go to other things. You go to the internet. You go to YouTube or whatever. So that basic program, other than fine-tuning it and making it more secure, I don't see a lot that they could change.
So are they, because it's a smaller footprint, is this more of a cloud-based operating system, do you think? Or what's your take on that?
Well, I think a lot of the things that you're going to do with Windows 10 are cloud-based.
Okay.
Look at your Office 365.
Okay.
And a lot of the programs and things that we do now, YouTube and Facebook and all of that is cloud-based. So the operating system really doesn't have to have that much,
So are we going to see the, what is it, WordPad that comes with Windows and all those other things? Are we going to see the demise of those little extra programs that come along with Windows, do you think? Or because they are making it a smaller footprint?
Yeah. I think they gain a smaller footprint by tightening the code.
Okay.
Rather than eliminating things that are in there, because they're still going to add a little fluff in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a big question here, I think. Why don't I have the Get Windows 10 app, the little app screen that pops up by your clock?
Couple of reasons. One, you're running Windows 7 without Service Pack 1.
Okay.
You're running Windows 8. And here's something else that I've run into. If you're running Windows 8 and you want to upgrade to Windows 8.1, you have to go to the store.
Right.
Okay. If you go there, it'll tell you that you don't have the updates. And there's a ton of updates for Windows 8 that have to be in place before you can go to 8.1. And I've run into this numerous times where customers will call and say, okay, I tried to update my Windows 8. And it went so far, about 95%, and it quit, and then it backed up, and it took all day for it to restore it.
Okay.
And I tried it again. It got so far, and it backed up. You have to you can't automatically update Windows 8. You have to manually go in and select update, and only take about 10 and download them and update, and then take another 10. You have to do it in pieces.
I see.
To get that whole thing done, and there's like over 100 of them. I mean, it really takes a long time. Once you've got Windows 8 with all the updates, then you can go in and upgrade to Windows 8.1. And you need 8.1 on your computer or 7 with the service pack to get that little icon.
So you're saying that there's been over 100 updates just to Windows 8.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to back up a little bit.
And that depends on your machine.
Right. So you need to go and install those first before you can upgrade to Windows 8.1.
8.1.
Now, is there a security reason why a person should go to 8.1?
Yes, big time.
Okay.
Yeah. 8.1 is way more secure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a person should actually, if you haven't done it already, you should at least be moving to 8.1.
If you're running 8 and you don't want 10, you want to get 8.1.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the big security thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So next question on the list here. Just rolling down through if we haven't answered some of these yet. Can I turn off the notifications? Yeah, that's right. You have to scroll down on your screen there a little bit, Nick. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, if you click Customize in the system tray, you can turn off the Get Windows 10 app notification and menu that comes up.
Okay, and there might be some reasons why a person doesn't want to move to Windows 10, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, everybody.
Yeah.
After the break, we will be joined by Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino, so come on back.
Right now, 63.
Sean Hannity, weekdays at 2, only on Super Talk 1270.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And in studio, we have producer extraordinaire Jim Walsh from Awesome 2 Products, Mr. Nick Ressler. He's usually in here to scare us with virus stuff, but today you're talking about Windows 10. And joining us on the phone, Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino. Katie, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Marla. How are you doing?
Doing fine as well. Like I said, we are talking about Windows 10, and we haven't quite finished that conversation yet, so we're going to just go right into that. And if you have any questions, Katie, just hop right in and ask away for Mr. Nick, our resident expert on these things. So, Mr. Ressler, how much is Windows 10 going to cost?
Okay, if you have a machine that doesn't qualify to upgrade.
Okay. So if you have a machine that's not Windows 7.1 or 8.1, okay?
And say you have an old Vista machine that will run Windows 10. If you buy, there's a couple of issues that they have. One is Windows 10 Home and Windows 10 Pro.
Okay.
Now, if you have Windows 7 Home Premium,
okay,
you can download the 10 Home for free.
Okay.
But let's say you want to upgrade to 10 Pro.
Premium Pro, okay.
Okay. From 7, that'll cost you $119.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to buy, let me back up here. It's $99.
Typical Windows stuff. It's always confusing.
Yeah, they always got to confuse it. Why don't they just have one version?
Right.
And if you want to buy the home version, it's $119.
So basically the same price as what you'd buy right now.
And if you want to buy the Pro version, it's $199.
But unlike Windows 7, where they had 7 different versions, we just have 2 now, right?
Yeah, just 2.
Home and Pro.
Home and Pro.
Okay. Yeah. Do you know have you seen what the difference is between the two?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. So if you have 7.1, 8.1, you get the upgrade for free as long as it's comparable versions.
Right.
If you want to make it a better version,
then you have to pay
the difference. Yeah. Okay. The other big thing that I think do you have any questions for Nick, Katie?
No, I'm just listening.
Okay. So, what was the other big thing? Okay, well, all my devices and apps work in Windows 10.
That is a good question. Okay, Windows 10 is designed to be compatible with a machine that runs 7 and 8.1. So if you're running 7 and 8.1 now, and all the things that you're using with that are going to be compatible with 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just like if you had a Windows XP or a Vista machine and you upgraded to 7 or 8, you had some challenges there.
Some of the older programs. And the other thing is all of these are 64-bit.
Okay.
And that's something else to take into consideration if you have an older machine that doesn't support 64.
So will you be getting an upgrade version if you don't have a 64-bit computer now?
You know, I kind of researched that, and I haven't figured it out.
Okay.
How that's going to work, if they're going to make a 32-bit.
Okay.
You know.
So you're not 100% sure on that yet. Okay.
Not at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anything from you, Katie, on that?
No.
Okay. So the last, and what we're doing, Katie, is we have a list of questions that some of our listeners have provided us. So we're kind of going through some of these questions. Some of these we've answered already. The last big question I have, Nick, is will all of my stuff be in the cloud?
Well, things are starting to move that way, but right now I don't think so.
Okay.
Once you download, but if you consider when you start most computers you start, and it depends on what you do. Like if you're going to use Microsoft Office, you can get a version of that in the cloud.
Right.
And what they're trying to do is make this so it's if you're at home or if you're at work, when you start your computer, there's actually a way that you could put what's on one computer on a jump drive and plug it into your work computer, fire it up, and go to the jump drive, and it's a computer that's at home.
Right.
And both back, compatible for work and home. So the cloud is something that everything is moving to. And the jump drive just allows you to access what's on the cloud.
Right.
So I'd say, eventually everything will move.
So, and I'm looking now, Windows 10 will come with a free version of OneDrive, which is similar to Dropbox or Google Drive, that type of thing. And you get 15 gigs with it. Now, after that, they have a charge for it. And we were just kind of looking at the charges here. 100 gigs is $2 a month.
Yep.
200 gigs is $4 a month. And then the terabyte, if you need a terabyte of space, is $7 a month. And that includes, Mr. Wrestler,
Office.
Yeah. So
365.
Office 365 comes with that. So for $7 a month, you get a terabyte of storage plus Office 365. That really isn't that bad of a price.
I think it's a great deal.
So I can't believe you and I are actually agreeing on that, but yeah.
Well, one thing that makes it a good deal is if you can imagine, you go to your old computer software drawer and see how many versions you've got in there. And why did you have to buy the new version? Because they changed it.
Right.
Well, once you subscribe to that, as they make changes, you don't have to buy it. Your subscription gets you the changes.
Yep.
And that's one thing I think when they talk about Windows 10 being the last operating system you ever buy, because once you've owned it, they're just going to keep improving it.
Right.
Without you having to buy another version.
So, Katie, what's your take on storing stuff locally and using the cloud? I mean, do you do both right now, or how do you do that, and where do you see that moving in the future?
Well, I mean, I do both now. I mean, you kind of have to, especially if you're doing a lot of creative work where you have to store. I mean, there's a lot of different types of work where you have to store a lot of things both locally and in the cloud. I like that a lot of things, a lot of apps. A lot of things are based in the cloud, such as Adobe's Creative Cloud Suite. Windows 10 will be very cloud-based. I've been using Microsoft Office 365 now, and I never used it before. I've always been an Apple girl, and I just started using Office 365, and it's actually pretty great. I've been getting the hang of it.
So
and that's all cloud-based.
I'm just going to stop you for a second, Katie. So what does Office 365 run for you? Do you remember the cost of it?
I'm sorry, like how much it costs?
Yeah, per month or per year or whatever.
Well, actually, I'm not sure because I've been helping out with a nonprofit, and they just connected me to their account.
I gotcha.
So
okay.
I'm not sure. But, it's a lot of these things are becoming subscription-based, and that's to make things more affordable. And the same is going for also, if you're a web designer or a creative, a lot of these things like features like, let's say MailChimp, you could buy subscription services that will help you create like a really nice, appealing pop-up on your website for MailChimp to collect emails. Now, I've been experimenting with a lot of these, and it's great. I mean, it's great to have all this cloud-based stuff and, the subscription thing, but it could be a little, disheartening because when you look at your statement every month, you start realizing just how many subscriptions you're paying for, and so that's the thing. I don't know if there's much of a longevity in this whole subscription-based thing in the future. I think that people might get a little sick of it, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of the little charges and you know, when you talk about nickel and diming somebody, we used to refer to that in cars all the time. You know, you go and trade off your car because it's nickel and diming you to death. We're almost getting to that point in our software now because all the apps that we subscribe to, all this other stuff, you pay $1.99 here, $2.99 here, and after a while that actually starts to add up to be something, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's how they get you in. They like to tease you with the free stuff, and then you're like, oh, it's just $2 a month. What's the big deal here, you know? And that's exactly right. But I do believe that this is the format that we're moving towards is this. So
it is.
Yeah. Anything else, Nick?
Well, one thing, in using the cloud, I'm helping a class of 65, their 50th class reunion, and I'm scanning a bunch of documents, and I have a friend that's helping me, and we're building a DVD for him. So on my main computer, I'm scanning them, and I just throw them in Dropbox. Okay. He opens Dropbox on the other computer and builds the DVD. So before, we'd always put a jump drive in or a disc and copy it, and I find this so handy. It's just God sent.
Well, the ability to collaborate on projects without being in the same room is the one thing that I love about cloud computing. I agree. I agree that, you know, being able to work with somebody, you know, across town or across the world is what's going on with this, and that adds a lot to. And I actually think that's why we see such an exponential creative rate when it comes to technology, because people are able to collaborate with somebody in Germany and Austria and Australia, the United States, and things get, you know, we're moving so quickly because of that. So anything else, Katie?
No, I mean, I agree with you. It's very much, you know, mounting up, and, you know, I think a lot of these companies are doing it, and it's a little overwhelming for customers to have so many subscriptions and things. But, you know, Windows 10 in itself is going to be exciting. There's a lot of features I'm looking forward to. One big thing is, you know, Cortana is finally going to be on, you know, the PCs now, so that's going to be good, you know. And then another thing, too, I mean, I think there's a lot of competition, too, to create better software, better layouts, have everything in the cloud. So I'm interested to see where we go from here.
So does this make development for software companies easier, too, knowing that there isn't going to be another operating system coming out in the future?
I think so.
Mm-hmm. You know, so they don't have to worry about Windows 11, Windows 12, and their stuff that they're developing now not being compatible as we move forward.
I really do. I do. I think it's just going to be evolving, and I think it becomes less of a big undertaking. You're just continuously updating. Right. So
well, that's exactly what goes on right now, is that we're updating all the time. So, you know, softwares that worked on Windows Vista doesn't work on Windows 7 and 8, and, you know, it drives people crazy, drives the customers crazy, because, you know, you spent $1,000 on a software package that you can't use anymore, you know. So then you're forced to upgrade or whatever. Those days might be behind us because of this, too. So, all right, everybody, after the break, we'll continue the conversation. Probably not so much on Windows 10, but Katie's going to be revealing, at least I hope she's revealing, her repurposed tech, as well as and Jim will be judging us on that. And then we'll get into some of our Kickstarter and Indiegogo campaigns that are trending right now. So come on back.
Currently 64.
Our own radio station. Not Fargo, not the Twin Cities. Proud to be Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And Mr. Jim, you have the mic.
I have the floor.
Well, you have to turn your mic on first.
Oh, so. Okay. How about now? Whoops.
Wow.
Hello.
There we go. There we go. Okay, you have the floor there, Mr. Jim.
I have the floor. Okay, Katie, are you with us?
Yes, I am.
Miss Metaverse, Katie Aquino. So I guess we're tossing a coin here to determine who goes first.
Right.
All right, Katie, call the toss.
All right, tails.
Tails it is. So, Katie, you get the option of going first if you wanted.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go for it. I guess we should get Marlo to set this up and talk about what exactly it is we're talking about.
Sure. So last week we were doing a show on repurposing old tech, and the challenge was that we would come back on this week's show and both of us would have one item that we thought was a great way to repurpose an item, and Jim is going to judge these, and that's where we're at.
And what does the winner get?
You were supposed to come up with the prize. Maybe the penny that you flipped there.
The penny that I flipped. Okay, that'll work, yeah.
Bragging rights. This is for bragging rights.
Bragging rights,
That's
okay.
Right.
All right.
Cred.
Katie, you've got the toss. Go for it.
Okay. All right. So I think we covered a lot of them last week. So I just wanted to mention this kind of cool thing. So, a lot of us kind of don't think about what we could do when we're getting rid of like our smartphones or computers. Now, if you're really into geeky stuff like I am, you might want to try doing this. What you could do is you could repurpose your old tech, like your old computers and smartphones, to be a part of what's known as volunteer computing. So, the basic thing is that scientists need huge amounts of computing power for their research. And what's really cool is that you can help out these scientists by downloading an app, like one that's by UC Berkeley called BOINC, which stands for Berkeley Open Infrastructure for Network Computing. And when you download an app, like this BOINC app, it'll basically turn your computer and your smartphone, or whatever you have it on, into basically it's going to generate power for these scientists to be able to tap into for all their huge projects they're doing. And that's a big thing. I mean, computing power is really, 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 really important, especially a lot of these huge projects that are going on around the world. So, I mean, I remember a couple years ago, I actually downloaded one of them, which was the SETI app, the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. And it's really cool. You can actually download this program onto your computer, and by running it, you're actually going to be helping out with this research. And it basically scans the sky looking for some kind of signs for extraterrestrial intelligence, which is fun. I mean, it's just the idea of it sounds kind of cool, so why not? But this is a cool way. You could definitely use your old tech, like your old computers and smartphones, to help out with these projects. Right now, there's 14 supported projects on BOINC, which is Atlas at Home, which is part of the CERN laboratory. There's also the SETI app, which I told you about before, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. There's Universe at Home, which is a project that's based in the University of Warsaw, and that's creating a 3D model of the universe, which is awesome. And there's World Community Grid, which is IBM's nonprofit research into humanity's biggest problems, like cancer, disease, clean water, solar energy, and more. So it's definitely cool to think about, and why not try it?
So are you able to actually, let's say at our office environment, Katie, we don't use our computers in the evening. They're mostly on all the time. Are we able to actually take, let's say, from 8 in the evening to 7 in the morning and let our computers do the work for the scientists as well?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just for your old computers or whatever. It could be anything, as long as it's connected to your Wi-Fi and whatever you want to help power it definitely helps. The same goes for Bitcoin mining, too. One big thing that people are starting to get into is Bitcoin mining, which is you basically run your computers in a similar way, but you have to have a lot of processing power to do that. But you could actually make money doing that. So if you want to look into it, we could actually talk about this another day. I think that's a good topic in itself.
Sure.
Very, very strong opening there. So Marlo, what are you going to follow that up with?
Everybody's laughing in here now because I went on the totally opposite side of this, Katie, and I will say very, very strong opening too. I've always had a thing about printers, and they become obsolete so fast. Even our own office, we must. What do we have laying around there, Nick? 50 old printers,
at least.
It's just crazy, and we don't know what to do with them most of the time. They mostly end up in the landfill after a while. We do have an electronics dumpster that we can get rid of this stuff in, but there has to be other ways to do this. So I've been investigating, what to do with printers. Of course, we kidded a little bit last week about turning your printer into a flower pot And there's actually people who, in fact, I'm sharing this with Nick right now, the people who do this, and actually in an office environment, if you want to plant a few flowers around, if you have a tech office or something, using your old printers as flower pots. In fact, I'm going to do that, Nick, when we get back there. I have potting soil there, and I have plants that just came in. I love spearmint, so I'm going to plant some spearmint around the office today. That's exactly what I'm going to do with that. But there's some of them that come in as storage places, and there's some photos. If you go online, you can look, and there's an old Epson C82 that I'm looking at here right now, and you open the cover up, and you can throw a bunch of stuff inside the printer, so it becomes kind of a storage space. And I just have a quick story to share with that. I bought a printer on eBay, and I think it was an Epson C82, as a matter of fact. And we bought 8 or 10 of them, I think, at that one time. And we opened them up, and we weren't using them, and we were about ready to start setting them up to use them for whatever. And I opened this one up, and I was like, who put all this money in this printer? Here there was $360 inside this printer.
Whoa!
Well, the only thing we could think of is that somebody had been using it to hide money in or something. I don't know. Yeah, it was certainly petty cash. But anyway, so my pick with what to do with old printers, Jim, is turning it into a printer barbecue. So you can take the especially in a laser printer, it has a metal frame, and you can take that metal frame out of that and line it with tin foil. And I'm just going to share the picture.
A picture of what's that, a little shish kebab?
A little shish kebab going on there with reconverted
sticks.
Reconverted printer.
And it looks like you got charcoal burning.
I do have charcoal burning in there. So yeah. So my repurposing isn't certainly, to better the world scientifically, Jim. So I'm not really sure who's going to win this contest, but you get to choose.
Food.
I should have brought barbecue along so I could have bribed you even more here, I guess.
Priming the pump here.
Yeah.
Okay, I will rate that moderately high, mainly because I like barbecue food. I would still say
I'm going down. I can see this.
I would still say that in terms of the overall good for society at large, Katie's original first suggestion so far has the lead. A strong lead, not a landslide necessarily, but a strong lead. Katie, we give the floor back to you at this time for your next proposal, next possibility.
I'm kind of maxed out, really. I mean, I know we discussed a lot last week. We were talking about how you can turn your, an old VHS player into a toaster and things like that.
Yep.
I mean, there's just so many of them. And one thing is, I know we only have a couple minutes left, so I really wanted to talk about Indiegogo and how there's so many new tech projects that are on there right now.
Yep, let's go right to that then. Yep.
So, shall I pick a winner?
Pick a winner, Jim.
Katie, you won.
I think we both win. We're both winners.
We're all winners.
All right, so let's get the Indiegogo, because like you said, we're running short on time here, and I want to hear about some of these projects that are on there.
Yeah, so, I mean, last summer, there was a robot that went online. It went on Indiegogo, and it's called Jibo. And if you haven't yet heard of Jibo, you're definitely going to hear about Jibo within the next year. You'll start seeing it everywhere.
Can you spell that for us?
It's Jibo, J-I-B-O.
Thank you.
And so last summer, basically, Jibo went on Indiegogo, and it just totally exploded. Now, Jibo is being coined as the world's first social robot for the home. So people are raving about this robot. They're saying that it's going to be like our Jetsons future. This is going to be the first robot that everyone's going to have in their homes. It has a bunch of different features. It could do everything from recognize your faces, so like it'll know who everybody in your family is, and it's got AI in it, so it'll actually recognize people, interests. You can speak to Jibo. It's like a personal assistant as well as a family friend. So Jibo also can read stories to your kids and everything. It's pretty amazing, actually. So now Jibo, right, had so much success on Indiegogo that the campaign raised $1 million in 6 days, which is incredible. And ended up I think they ended up having $2.3 million during the whole campaign, which is huge. I mean, $2.3 million on Indiegogo for a single campaign incredible. They actually set a crowdfunding record too on Indiegogo for that campaign, and then since then, in January, the company actually raised $25.3 million in Series A financing, which is huge. So you know that Jibo is going to be here. I mean, Jibo is going to be all over the place. And right now, Jibo actually went back onto Indiegogo with something known as an in-demand campaign, meaning it's ongoing, and you can simply go on there and pre-order your Jibo through the campaign site on Indiegogo. And through that, they've raised $3.2 million now.
Unreal.
So,
well, Katie, as you know, we're now out of time, but let's continue this conversation next week on crowdfunding for technology and where we're going. This is very, very cool. By the way, $749 is what you can get a Jibo for. Until next week, everybody, have a safe week. I got to get that worked out on my endings there, Jim. So, all right, have a great week, everybody.
Good night and good luck.
There you go.